Hey everybody, and I hope everybody's having a great Christmas. I hope things are going well for all of you. So I'm in between events. We had Christmas morning with my family, and we're gonna have Christmas dinner. So I had a couple hours in between, so I figured I'd come on and just say hi. I don't know if people want to hear about Christmas traditions in my family, but traditionally, the night before. One of my uncles normally has an open house, and we go there and we have like cheese and crackers and meatballs and wings and that kind of thing. And then on Christmas morning, we all get up, we open our stockings, then we have breakfast, which is normally pancakes, bacon. Uh, my mother makes really good fresh whipped cream uh, and eggs, etc. And then we open all our presents. I don't know what it's like in other parts of the world, but because I live in Canada, pine trees are pretty inexpensive here. So most people who are kind of like serious about Christmas will celebrate by getting a Christmas tree. So we've always had a real Christmas tree. I don't know how tall it would be, maybe 7 feet tall. It's taller than me. That's for sure. But yeah, we always do have a real Christmas tree. It's always weird for me when I see people in like the South or parts of the world where you don't have pine trees, and they have like a fake tree or something. It's just something I don't think we've ever had a fake tree where I live. So yeah, so that's normally part of the Christmas tradition. Tomorrow we're gonna go out probably on Boxing Day and just see what's around. Let me think. What did I get for Christmas this year? As kind of part of my job, I got a really big Amazon gift card, kind of in lieu of getting a raise. So I just decided to be high time preference for once, and I have a Switch. So I got myself a Switch, and I got Breath of the Wild, Smash Bros, and Diablo 3 was on sale, so I got Diablo 3 too. So those are the three games I got for my Switch. Diablo 3 I'm actually really enjoying. The Switch's controls are actually really good for it. I'm kind of surprised. I was not really expecting to like it as much as I did when it was on PC. But no, I'm really liking Diablo 3. Smash Bros is kind of like, it's a good game to have, but I don't know. I've never been like a huge Smash Bros fan. The controls are always a little floaty for me, if you know what that means. Controls are always a little floaty, etc. But not bad, not bad. Breath of the Wild is in the mail, so it hasn't come yet. I gotta say, Wii games are really sorry, not Wii. Switch games are really expensive compared to normal games. They're really like they're a lot of money. I was not expecting them to be as expensive as they are. Like everything to do with the Switch is really expensive. Like let me think what else is expensive about it. The controllers are super expensive if you want to get a controller. Um, I have one. No, I have a Pro controller. I got a Pro controller. But if you want to get like a second Joy-Con, it's like $100, which is kind of criminal, frankly. I mean, that's really expensive for a just a controller. Not even like that's like as much as two games would be historically speaking. I remember back when I was a kid, um, Game Boy Color games and Game Boy Advance games used to be like, God, how much were they? Like $30? I remember in Nintendo Power, like my old ones, they used to be $20 for a Nintendo game. Uh, I think N64 games were a bit more. The normally mobile games have traditionally been a little cheaper than console games. It's weird because there was no real like $70 for games. They just went from like uh what was it? They went from like $20 to they went from 60 to $80, and there wasn't really a $70 in between. Or if there was, it was very short term. Yeah, there wasn't really much of a in-between phase there. So I got that. My parents gave me a Google Mini, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to try that out. It's well, the first thing obviously I asked it was who is best girl, and it said I don't, that it doesn't know. And that's a good, like, that's a good answer because there's so many anime waifus to choose from. How can you know for sure who best girl is? It's kind of like the uncertainty principle. It's kind of like, it's like something Heisenberg would come up with. I am not short. I'm 6'1", I'll have you know. I'm pretty tall. I'm a big guy. I've lost a lot of weight over the last year or so. I've lost like 25 pounds, so if I could lose like another 5 to 10, I'd be in really good shape. Just gonna keep going along on that path. So let me just see. I'm just sharing to my Facebook page. If you're not 6'8", you're a manlet. Yep, Merry Christmas, everybody. Yeah, Christmas is always a big time of year around my house. It's just kind of the way we are. I don't know if it's like an Anglo thing or what, but Christmas. For those of you who live in Canada, there's this radio station called CFRB 1010. And for the longest time, they used to have this jingle they'd play. Is it goes, it feels like Christmas. It feels like Christmas. On News Talk 1010. And they used to have that. And what happened one year was they had people call in and say like what the worst Christmas song was. And somebody called in and said that was the worst Christmas song. So because of that... Oops, sorry, let me just turn that down. That's probably really loud. I'm just putting on Fire Emblem. And because of that, they just never showed it again, and it's too bad. Let me see here. Come on. You can do it. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's actually working for once. Okay, cool. So we're just going to have a chill stream today. So if you want to like ask me some stuff, want to ask me some questions about my book, etc., more than happy to talk about it. Let me see if I can frame limit this to 30 frames per second. Just because this is going too quick. Speed limit. How do I limit frames per second? This game is bugged and unfair. Graphics, maybe? Oh well, I'm sure it'll be fine. What's my take on the concept of Christmas gifts? I don't know. Christmas gifts are good. Why? I don't know why I'd be against Christmas gifts. It's part of the season. It's where people get all their like the hot new stuff. So no, I always like Christmas gifts. Favorite thing this channel has given you? Name the game, please. I'm an NPC. This is Fire Emblem Path of Radiance for the GameCube, and I am playing it on the emulator on Dolphin. Do you think anthropomorphic animals, humans, or animals can't be taken seriously? I like how you said anthropomorphic humans, like implying there's non-anthropomorphic humans. I guess there are. I guess that's what like an NPC is. It's an anthropomorphic human. It's like a human-shaped person who resembles a human. I don't know. I've always been partial to cat girls myself. I don't. I just prefer normal humans or like human-esque creatures, like I don't know, elves or something, to cat people. I'm trying to think. Like, I guess the only kind of like show with cat people in it I like is like in Inuyasha, where they're like there's an actual justification because they're demons. And in Visions of Escaflowne, the cat girls didn't really bother me in that. But generally speaking, they're kind of obnoxious. It's so weird playing this game on an emulator just because it looks so much better than it does in the GameCube version. Like, it's just very crisp and clear compared to the GameCube version, which isn't bad or anything, but just it's much higher resolution. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, I think this is a pretty easy level, if memory serves. I kind of feel like I did this level already. I don't know. Let me just see here. Maybe I did do this level and I just don't remember. Let me just look at my save states. Okay. Oh, I did do that level. Oops. My bad. Okay, so we're doing this level. I remember this actually being one of the harder levels in the game, if memory serves. Just because it's early in the game and you don't have a lot of really good characters yet. Let's see. I forget. Did I give Oscar a javelin? He kind of needs one if he doesn't have one. Yeah, he doesn't have one. Okay, there we go. Got some money, some XP. It'll be nice once I get access to free XP. The beginning part of Fire Emblem games is often kind of difficult just because you don't have access to things like the convoy or basic kind of stuff that you need for the game to like work properly. So, okay, Ike, go up in exchange. Iron Sword. Titania, go and hold this. Do you like Sonic the Hedgehog? If so, do you feel like it's time to let go of him? If that makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about Sonic. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is one of my favorite games of all time. But he's kind of been in like a state of steep decline over the since then. Zoom out, please. There we go. Okay. Let me know if that looks better. I zoomed out. I'd already streamed this part, so once we get through this level, I'll start reading the text again. So. Sonichu. So why haven't I done another Chris Chan video? It's partially just because I just find the whole thing really depressing, and it's literally like beating up on a retarded kid, and I feel kind of bad like if I spend too much time making fun of him. So it's partially that, but it's partially also just the amount of like time it would take to follow Chris Chan is a lot more difficult than it is for Phil, because with Phil you have like a dozen channels that will just put out a summary of everything he does every day, so that makes it a lot easier for me to keep track of it, whereas with Chris Chan it's just a lot more, there's just a lot more stuff that goes on, and the quickie isn't quite as concise, I guess is how to put it. Okay, and I can hold that. Steel sword. Playing the PS2 version of RE4 on a flat screen was an eyesore. Yeah, that's one of the few good, what was I thinking? I'm losing my train of thought. That's one of the few, like, good Wii games. Yeah, Resident Evil 4 is actually a lot better at, completely lost my train of thought there. What was I saying? I don't know. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, sorry. Resident Evil 4 was a lot better on PC. Sorry, on... yeah, actually, it was better on PC, but it was a lot better on Wii than it was on GameCube or PS4. Or, sorry, PS2. Actually, the GameCube was, I think, significantly more powerful than the PlayStation 2 was. It's interesting because I think the PS1 was actually only a 32-bit system. It wasn't even a 64-bit system, so it's much less powerful actually than the PS. What's it called again? Than the N64. Oh, is Boyd gonna die? Fuck. I'm gonna have to reload. Everybody you have at this point part in the game is just so shitty. Okay, there we go. Let me just do this. Let's see. I find the early part of Fire Emblem games are always kind of difficult, more so than later in the game, just because you don't have good characters yet. Like a lot of the people you get at this point in the game are just like, I don't really like them. Like, I'm not going to use Boyd throughout the game. I'm not going to use well, Shinon and Gatry leave, so there's no real point in leveling them up. Let's see, who needs the speed ring? I'll give it to Oscar. So, like, of the characters I'm actually going to use in this game, I have Soren. Who else do I have? Ike and Oscar and Titania. So I only have like 4 characters I'm actually going to use. Rhys I will use, of course, but Rhys just takes so long to level. It's kind of like, what's even the point? Okay. I'm going to leave Shinon to guard. And Titania can go and that. I don't... Is her name pronounced Titania or Titania? Is it Titania or Titania? Is it 1 or 2? I think Titania sounds a lot better than Titania. I'm sure it probably is Titania. But, yeah. So anyways, if anybody here's read my book, Titania? Okay, we'll call her Titania. What was I thinking of again? Yes, if anyone's here has read my book and they want to ask me questions about it, go ahead. Everything and No Chance is based in something. One was Titania, right? At least I think it was Titania. Well, anyways, I'm sure someone will correct me. But yeah, if anyone, everything and No Chance actually happened in real life. So if you want, like, to ask me and be like, where did that thing come from? Ask me, like, what inspired different things in the book. Be more than happy to talk about them. Because, yeah, things in it either happened to me or someone I know in real life, or it's based on something that happened in the news. Yeah, people seem to really like Nazbol Gang, so I'll try to have him on more often. His schedule's a bit more like mine, a bit like mine in that it just can be hard to get like us on at the same time to do a stream. But yeah, I really enjoy having him on. He's a friend of mine in, well, kind of in real life. Um, no, I didn't get Christmas Tharja. I did get Christmas. Um, no, there's a lot of Argent lore in No Chance. It's more it's yeah, a couple different things. What was I thinking of? I have Christmas Lissa in Fire Emblem Heroes. Christmas Lissa is like one of the best characters in the game. She's absurdly good. I have Bride Tharja. I don't have Christmas Titania though. Sorry, Christmas. They need to give Titania some more characters, some stuff. Do you think Trump will get the wall in 2019? I have no idea what the fuck's going on with the wall. A better question is Trump going to get impeached in 2019? Which I think there's a decent possibility of. I got Bride Ninian. Yeah, I have Bride Ninian too. As I've said in the past, I have a very long commute to my job, so I just happen to have a lot of time for things like mobile games. That's why I got a Switch, just because it's a long commute. If it ever seems like I read a lot of books, that's just because I listen to them. Like I said, I just have a lot of extra time, which, yeah. It's interesting that Lynn is by far the most popular female character. I think Erica is probably number 2. It's pretty close between the two of them. Yeah, I tried to get sponsored by Audible once. The thing is, I don't think it was even really content-wise was the reason I couldn't get it. It's just I don't get enough views. I think to get Audible to sponsor you, you have to have 1,000 views per video on average. Or something like that, so I don't quite qualify. But I'd love to get sponsored by Audible. Because I actually use Audible. And if I could get sponsored for something, I'd rather... Because it's if I'm gonna like do a shill sponsorship, I'd rather do it for something that I actually use. I think we all can agree the best girl is Soren. And I don't care what anyone says, Soren is a woman. I've tried using Boyd in the past. The issue is I just don't like warrior fighters. Because fighters, they have like moderately high attack and low defense but high HP. And in Fire Emblem, I prefer high defense or high dodge to high HP. It's kind of different from a game like Dungeons and Dragons. Like in Dungeons and Dragons, in some ways, high health is better than high HP. And in Pokemon, like high HP is good. But in like this game, HP is not nearly as good as just being able to tank or dodge. So in reality, like a sage generally has better durability than a warrior. Because sages have a really high dodge rate. Same thing with, what's it called again? Yeah, Soren is a trap. I think we can all agree on that. I'm just trying to level Oscar up. Because Oscar's really good, because there aren't that many Lance users in this game. And there's a lot of sword enemies, particularly in later levels. Also, he's good against Lance units as well. And Lance units are very common. Oh, oops. I think I was supposed to heal Oscar. Fuck. Haku is the best girl. Yeah, I maintain Haku is a girl. No one's ever going to be able to convince me that Haku is not a girl. It's just... she just is. And... yeah. You know what pissed me off was like, does anyone remember that meme that Sheik, or how you pronounce her Zelda's name in Ocarina of Time, is a man? Like, what the fuck was that about? I didn't even think, like, they claimed that, like, she had the surgery or something. When it was very clear she just bound herself and wore ambiguous clothing. Like, I don't know. I don't really get how anyone could even think that unless they're just, like, have a really sick mind. PMD Explorers of the Spy. Explorers of the Sky. Sorry, not Ply. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, fuck. Did I make a hole in the wall? Crap. No! No, don't be mean to Riss. I'm sorry. Fuck. Is Soren gonna die now? Oh, fuck. Oh. This is, I don't know. I always find this the hardest level in the game. I'm just going to say that right now. I think this is the hardest level in the game. Fuck. I hate this level so much. This is the worst. I don't know. This is the worst level in the game. I don't suck that much at this game. I know it seems like I do. This level's just really hard. And I know it's weird for me to be saying that so early in the game. The issue is just that, like I said, at this point in the game, you don't have many, like, usable characters. Like, Oscar and Ike are okay, but, like, Yatri's gonna leave soon. I don't really want to rely on Shion at this point in the game. I might just use Shinon. That's probably the easiest way to deal with this. Actually, it's interesting with Wings of Redemption because he's a lot more financially responsible than the other lol cows. Like, Wings of Redemption has completely paid off his house. He actually paid off his mother's house, but she spent she took out a second mortgage on it, so he paid off her house again. So, yeah, Wings of Redemption is actually fairly financially responsible compared to a lot of them. I'm just not interested in Boruto. Just, I don't really like sequels where it's their kids in general. Because it just, to me, kind of shits on the original. Like, it kind of just trivializes the original, if that makes sense. I just really don't like, I just don't like that kind of sequel in general, so... I kind of just prefer the consistent narrative with the cast of characters. I kind of feel like Naruto's story is over, and I'd like maybe something else set in the world, but just not related to the main Naruto storyline. Like maybe like a flashback to Minato and Kushina. That would be cool if they did that as a like as a side story. But I just don't like that kind of thing, and that's just been something. It's always been the case for me. Like when I was reading Dragonlance, it took me a really long time to start to get into the second generation. Like the stuff where all the main characters from the previous books had just died of old age. And I still didn't really like it very much. Because, like, inevitably, to try to make the character development never really been a strong suit for Fire Emblem. I'm going to disagree. I think particularly in the later games, it's become a real strength of the series. They've come a long way since it used to be. Like, part of it is just because you can have an unlimited number of support conversations now. So because there isn't a limit to support conversations, there's just a lot more they can do with characters. They're a lot deeper now than they used to be. I know, but I like that it got more like anime. Like, a lot of people attack the newer Fire Emblem games to say that it's more like anime, but I kind of like that, to be honest. Are you streaming Fire Emblem from your DS? Nah, this game's not out for DS. This is a GameCube game. I'm streaming it from my PC. Although I have all of the Fire Emblem games for DS, including Shadow Dragon, which sucked. Have they announced if Fire Emblem Three Houses is going to have, like, 3 versions? Because that seems like a very Nintendo thing to do. Maybe it's going to be like Fates, where they're going to have, like, the good version, the bad version, and the really good version. Because, like, it's like in Fire Emblem Revelations, you get all the characters. Although I think the story's the worst in Revelations, to be honest. Okay, do terrible things, Oscar. Okay, can Soren finish him? Yes, Soren can. Heroes of Light and Shadow is pretty good. I've never heard of Heroes of Light and Shadow, to be honest. Like, for Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, I like the idea of doing a remake of some of the older games for, like, a home console. My issue is I just don't get why they couldn't have done a remake of, like, Gold and Silver or something. Or a more modern game that has more content. Like, the newer Pokemon games are much, much longer. And they took like, literally the shortest game in the series to do a remake. I don't know, it just seems like it's kind of a ripoff. You aren't getting much value for your money. That's not to say I don't want to play it, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I'd like another Gold and Silver remake, though. You can't remake Gold and Silver too many times. It's interesting as I'm going through, as I'm thinking about it. The like Game Boy Pokemon games were so deep, like they had so many like interesting mechanics and little details, etc. They were just much bigger games than were the ones like pretty much anything else for Game Boy. Like they were really good value for their money. There was all kinds of like side stuff and secrets and excellent game series. Sun and Moon are kind of like one of the ultimate mixed bags. Because in some ways I really like Sun and Moon, but it has this really long dialogue. Like the dialogue scenes in Pokemon Sun and Moon are literally like just the most overdrawn out, boring, excessive. It actually made me angry when I was playing it. So I just don't care about the plot. I don't really play Pokemon games for the plot. But if I was going to, then that would not be a good game. It was kind of neat in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra, what's it called, Moon, because they bring in Team Rainbow Rocket. And Team Rainbow Rocket is the like Giovanni comes back and he takes like villains from all the other worlds and all the other so you get to fight all the villains from the previous Pokemon games, and you also get to fight Giovanni, and they all will have the legendary Pokemon from their game on their team, so it's pretty neat. Oh, Merry Christmas to the people who said Merry Christmas to me. It's not a gay thing was the reason that it's Team Rainbow Rocket. It's just because they teamed up with like Team Ruby, Team Magma, Team Plasma, Team White, Team Plasma. They teamed up with the like all the teams from all the different games. So that's why yeah, it's like that. So for those of you in the chat, I want you all to take a poll as to who you think Ash's father is. So is Ash's father Giovanni? Is he is it Professor Oak? Is it Mr. Mime? Who do you think is Ash's real father? I like either Professor Oak or Giovanni, to be honest. Like those are the main candidates that I can think of at any rate. Ditto, Ash is a virgin birth. Brock. It's funny because Brock is. It's pretty obvious that Brock's supposed to be Okinawan because, like in Japanese, whenever because whenever they have someone from Okinawa in anime, they always make them look like they're black. The Japanese are like hilariously racist to the point that they like hate other East Asians. Like they really, really, really hate Koreans, for instance. They really hate Okinawans too, and the Ainu, and like people from different parts of Japan. The Japanese are one of the most xenophobic people on earth. And I use that term unironically as like a descriptive. I mean, the Japanese are just super xenophobic. It's just the way they are. No, it's just funny because, like, to the outside world, like, most people can't tell the difference between a Korean and a Japanese person. Just like someone from the West can't. Aren't Okinawans Japanese though? Basically, they're like a sub-ethnicity. Okinawa was not part of Japan until the Meiji era, but it was a vassal of the Satsuma domain. So it was a tributary of one of the daimyo of Japan. And they speak a Japonic language. But, yeah. Why weren't you on Millennial Yule? Because Millennial Yule, you have to like sign up for like 3 or 4 months in advance, and I just didn't really have time to do it, to be honest. Well, no, I had time to do it. It's just my schedule's very chaotic, and it just takes such a long like time to go through, and I don't know. Okay, there we go. So we beat that mission. Okay, that was fairly difficult. The next mission I think is much easier, if memory serves. But no, I'm sad I didn't get to go on Millennial Yule, but it's really difficult to book it. And I've just been busy. Like I was away during it was away during November when that was happening. The continent of Telius is blessed by the goddess. To the northwest lies the land of Crimea, home of the Greel mercenaries. Without warning, Crimea's eastern neighbor, the kingdom of Dayan, launches an attack on Crimea's capital of Melior. Ike leads a handful of mercenaries to Melior to confirm Soren's news of the attack. En route, they happen upon a young woman, unconscious but unharmed. Fearing for her safety, they take her to her stronghold. When she awakens, the woman gives her name as Alencia and lays claim to the title Princess of Crimea. Would you rather direct a Fire Emblem game or an SMT game? I'd probably rather direct an SMT game. Because Fire Emblem games like aren't really that bad. Whereas SMT is kind of a hit or miss franchise. Okay, like, I don't get how Alencia has a claim to the throne. She's like a bastard daughter. Like, I think the king's brother would have a better claim to the throne than she would. Like, I don't even know how succession works in Crimea. Because whether or not bastards can inherit is a very open question. And most systems are agnatic, so, yeah. The Grail Mercenaries answers Princess Alencia's plea for help. And agree to escort her to the Kingdom of Gallia. Located to the southwest of Crimea, Gallia is home to the southwest to the Laguz, a race quite unlike Ike and his fellow Bjork. Does anyone know like what Bjork is a reference to? Because I honestly have no idea like what it's supposed to even mean. Crimea and Gallia have long struggled to overcome their differences. In recent years, the two have done much to ease the prejudice between the Laguz and Bjork factions. Their combined efforts have forged a bond of trust and friendship that have overcome years of intolerance. Okay, I don't get how the Laguz are oppressed. Like, this is what I never get, like, in these worlds where there's, like, this minority group that's way stronger than normal humans. Like, Laguz can transform into... Laguz can transform into, like, lions and tigers and dragons and giant hawks and stuff like that. like I don't get how they got their asses kicked in every war. It's like with elves or half elves or whatever, and they have like their super magic abilities, but they just suck. Okay. I think I skipped it by accident, but Soren says they should have sold Alencia to Dane. Let's see here. I'll strip off this armor here and now. Then I'm almost glad we are being pursued. I suppose you'll have to grin and bear it, won't you? Implying Titania doesn't want to see Gatry expensive. I suppose I will. Right, so enough of your griping. You're merely wasting energy. Still, this heat is appalling. Dense forests such as these are not made for us delicate humans. The subhumans love them, though. This doesn't look like a rainforest, like a tropical rainforest, though. This looks like a temperate rainforest. These subhumans, they're really so different from us. What do you mean to tell me you've never seen a beastman before? No, never. Well, I have. They're a hairy punch, I'll tell you. And ugly as sin, too. Their faces are all fang and whisker. Their claws are like daggers, razor sharp and deadly. Shinon's kind of based. And even though they can speak our language, they're beasts through and through. Savages, every one. Okay, so Sam Kevorkian, thank you. That's going straight to the bills. What's your opinion on the focus on esports games like Fortnite and CSGO in the PC gaming scene? It seems like there's a focus on competitive multi at the expense of single player. I don't like competitive games at all. I hate esports. Esports is kind of cancer to me. I think video games are like for fun and as an art form. I don't really like the idea of them being compared to IRL sports. Like, as they were going to put them in the Olympics, and I really dislike that. Like, I don't think you can compare it to, like, if you see people do, like, the gymnastics or, like, the men's floor exercises or the rings or something like that. I think they're good as, like, a storytelling narrative device in the same way movies or books are, or TV is. And I think it's good as a form of entertainment, like to relax and stuff, but I don't like the attempt to conflate being able to press buttons really fast in StarCraft with being able to like launch yourself into the air and do like multiple spins and stuff. I just don't. Maybe that's a weird opinion coming from me, but yeah. Okay. The Beast Tribe, the Bird Tribe, and finally the Dragon Tribe. By the way, Tibarn is like the biggest chat ever. I kind of ship Tibarn and Alencia, to be honest. The Lagoose Tribe residing here in Gallia is the Beast Tribe. Okay. Feline traits. This south are the islands where the Birdmen live. The dragons are in Goldoa. Like, I admit part of it is I'm just really bad at video games, and I think you've noticed this if you've ever watched me play them. That's not entirely my fault. I actually have a dexterity, like a manual dexterity disability that makes it hard for me to like react properly and stuff. But I'm just bad at them, and to me the thing that I always care about is the story and the gameplay and that kind of thing. And that's when we lost. Hey, look, it's boobs. Petrin is really hot. I don't care what anyone has to say. I just wanted to pursue them in return so I could give you this report. Understood, you may step down. So Princess Alencia is making her way through the forest to Gallia. And, it appears your advice was sound. Well done, you have earned my praise. Thank you. When the king assigned me a tactician, I wondered what I had done to lose his trust when I saw it was a young girl. I burned with anger at the king's judgment. Still, it's worked out better than I had expected. Keep up the good work. Of course. Oh yeah, Tibarn is going to be in Fire Emblem Heroes. It's been announced he's going to be in it soon, which I'm super excited about. Because Tibarn is a massive Chad. He's like a 7-foot tall hawk man. I wish I was a 7-foot tall hawk man. Hold it right there, everyone. We're coming up to the edge of the forest. Form up combat positions. Okay. There's no doubt they will attack again. Without knowing their numbers, it's difficult to advise a course of action. Take your best guess, Soren. With the limited information we have, what is the best way to proceed? Some of our group cannot fight. If we are caught, we have a difficult time defending them and attacking the Daeans. I propose we separate into 2 groups, the small fighting force to engage the enemy and buy the main group some time. And the rest of us who will escort the princess to Gallia at full speed. Merry Christmas, Griffith. Tibarn is like super buff, too. The main force aside, don't you think the risk to the smaller group is too high? I believe this is the only way to achieve our goal and keep casualties to a minimum. It's possible there's an ambush waiting for us at the edge of the forest. If we proceed with no plan, we may be caught between the pursuit and the ambush, which would be the end of us all. Looks like we have no choice but to give it a go. I have a learning disability, and part of that is a manual dexterity thing. Oh, that's like fine objects and hand-eye coordination. I can still drive, etc., but it makes things like art or handwriting almost impossible for me. The diversionary team will be Gatry, Shinon, and me. The rest of you guard Princess Alencia and proceed to Gallia straight away. Got it? Smaller numbers mean better mobility. Your time will be better spent worrying about yourself than about us. Listen up, this will probably prove to be the biggest fight this company has ever faced. Okay. It matters not what our blood ties are. We are family. If you don't want to cause your family any grief, then live. Ike will be commanding the main force. Titania, you're his support. You shouldn't allow... Why is Ike commanding and not Titania? This is fucking nepotism. Well, I guess nepotism is, like, base, but still. I have 3% Neanderthal, I think. No, Chris, I haven't played Valkyria Chronicles 3 yet. I know I need to play it. You did get it for me. It's just... I don't know. I found VC1 really hard. So I've been kind of hesitant. I find like it was schizophrenic difficult. Like it became really hard, really fast. Like that stupid desert mission with the giant tank is kind of what ruined the game for me. So they're waiting for us after all. There's more of them than I imagined there would be. I thought they would have been spread out across... to expect there to be so many. Do we need to rethink our strategy? No. Okay. Everyone ready? Let's go. Well, Titania was also a captain of in the Royal Knights. So, I mean, if anyone should be commanding, she has actual, like, experience commanding an army. Whereas Ike has no experience commanding an army. Then you have that Valkyria girl who shows up and is completely invincible. And I really hated her too. Okay, let's see here. Oscar will be fine because he's Oscar, and Oscar's a pimp. Okay. Let's see. We'll move up. Ike. Thoughts on Advanced War? Advanced War is pretty good. I'm just not good at them. I'm just really bad at them. And that's just kind of my issue. Why do streamers get so pissy over my backsitting? What's the problem with helping when they've been stuck on a part of the game for 15 minutes? It's not normally a problem. The only reason it's a problem with DSP is that's kind of like the only good part of his content is when he like is running around like a retard, not being able to figure it out. Whereas like him just talking to the chat and stuff is boring as sin. So that's kind of the reason. In general though, it's like, I don't know, it's just a fucking video game. Like, at the end of the day, you're just supposed to have fun and maybe, like, learn a bit. It's not supposed to be, like, this fucking, like, serious business nonsense. Oh, you didn't beat Dark Souls on level 1 without any equipment. You're not playing the game properly. Yeah, the Souls community is, like, one of the most toxic. They really hate people who try to have fun. A lot of them, when they're playing it. If you're not playing a Dex build, then you're just a pussy. God, boys, girls suck. Okay, Titania. I had a ton of fun with Bloodborne. Yeah, I don't have a PS4, so I can't play Bloodborne. I wish I could, but I can't. So, too bad. So sad. Your dad. Like, something I've always been a big advocate of is if you want to play a game on easy, that's fine. I play games on easy all the time. Like, some people are just playing certain things like sandboxy games to relax or whatever. Like, if I'm playing Frostpunk or something like that, I just play it on easy because I don't really want a challenge when I'm playing a game like that. I'm just playing it because it's sandbox. God, boy, it sucks. You think Dark Souls is toxic? You should take a look at World of Tanks. No, World of Tanks is really toxic. My biggest issue and why I stopped playing World of Tanks is I just got tired of people spamming gold ammo. That's like the main reason I don't play World of Tanks anymore, despite liking a lot of aspects of it. Is I like playing heavy tanks, but heavy tanks are shit in World of Tanks because everybody only uses gold ammo. So like my E100 would just get penetrated constantly. More than my medium tanks would be because people wouldn't bother shooting gold at medium tanks. So it would just be APCR constantly. I do really like Neo. I like Neo a lot, actually. I'm not very good at it, and it's really hard. And I have to rely on summons for a lot of the game. But I think Neo is really good. I think it's unfair to call it a Souls clone. I think it's very different, and I think it does its own thing really well. But no, I'm a fan of the Souls games. I also like Neo. Neo is awesome. Yeah, I was like really depressed when I was playing World of Tanks, so I actually spent like way too much money on it. And I had a bunch of like premium tanks. Like I had the E25 and some stuff like that. But yeah. World of Warships was a bit better. I just found that battleships sucked in World of because I wanted to play as a battleship. I just found like the meta was just destroyers torpedoing people, and I just got kind of tired of it. What do you think of gacha games? It depends on the gacha game. Like Fire Emblem Heroes, I think is fair because like the orbs aren't super expensive, and they give you lots of ways to earn orbs otherwise. DX2 Liberators is really strange as far as gacha games go. Because in a DX2 to buy any amount of stuff is like absurdly expensive. Like to buy gems or new demon summons or all that kind of stuff is really expensive, but the game is very generous with jewels normally. So it just seems that it just seems like it's counterintuitive. Like if you're going to be generous with jewels, you should make jewels cheap, or else there's no reason to buy them if you're going to make them super expensive. They are gradually changing the economy in DX2 Liberators because I think they realized it was just too like excessive how much they were charging for shit. So they've just been giving out a lot of magnetite lately because they realized no one could actually fuse 5-star demons. I almost have a team of all 5 stars. Actually, I could have a team. Samuel isn't very good, so that's why he's not on my team. But and I don't really like Siegfried much either. Seth is really good, and I also have Lucifer in DX2. Oops. Yeah, I get 1 XP. Okay. Whose turn is it? Oscar do terrible things. Okay, Steel Axe. Bam! The worst gacha game at the moment is Command and Conquer Rivals. I don't know if anyone here has played Command and Conquer Rivals, but it is trash. It is unbelievably bad. Any like mobile game that doesn't have CPU play is just because I don't really want to fight other people because I don't like competitive games. So like how they do it in Fire Emblem Heroes where you're fighting like a computer controlled version of someone's team, I like, but by the way, has anybody here ever played Baden Kaitos? I'm just curious because like no one's ever heard of Baden Kaitos, and it's a damn shame because it's one of the best RPGs on the GameCube, in my humble opinion, and no one's like ever heard of it or played it or anything. Oh, okay, someone's heard of Baden Kaitos. You own both games. I also own both games. Actually, when I got Baden Kaitos, it came with the CD. It came with the soundtrack. So I actually have the CD of the music. So like the one I have has like Violent Storm and all that. Origins is really hard. Origins is one of the more brutally difficult games I played. The Huala Huala bird. Do you remember the Huala Huala bird? Oops. The Huala Huala bird is like the most... is one of the most like bullshit bosses. Oh, you have to use the migraine mirror? Oh, I thought how I figured out how to beat it was to just keep killing its chicks, because I think it lost health every time it gave birth to a chick. So that actually worked pretty well. When I played it when I was really young, I found Giacomo really hard the first time you fight, or one of the times you fight him, because on the ship you don't have access to a level up beacon, so you just kind of get your... so if you suck, you can't grind. I'm kind of sad they never made a Baden Kaitos 3. They said they were going to make a DS version, which would have been awesome, but they never did, so that's kind of sad. What's going to happen? The Great Mizuti not be sure. Arcanum. Sorcerer's Chakaram. I'm sure if anyone has played Baden Kaitos, they get the reference. Otherwise, you probably think I'm just lost it, but I love the Great Mizuti. Great Mizuti did nothing wrong. Yeah, Golden Sun also. I never played the later DS games. I had only played the first and second one for GBA. But yeah, they were both good. They were both high quality. Beautiful Joe also needs to be revived. Anyone here remember Beautiful Joe? I loved Beautiful Joe. It was a franchise I would have liked to see them make more games in, but they just kind of abandoned it, like they abandoned most things. Oh, Advanced Wars they abandoned. They won't make another Battalion Wars game. That's another franchise Nintendo gave up on. They are making No More Heroes 3, which I'll give them credit for not completely abandoning that series. But, yeah. Yeah, F-Zero, they won't make another F-Zero. They refuse to make another F-Zero game. Even if everyone wants another F-Zero game, they won't make it. Because that would be good. Yeah, Beautiful Joe had an anime. I forget if it was any good, to be honest. I actually like No More Heroes, kind of a deconstruction of like video game culture. And like Travis Touchdown's goal is just to be the best. Like even after he finds out that the whole tournament is just a complete farce, and that there was nothing, like he still goes and fights the last boss because all he wanted was to just be the best. Has anybody here played the F-Zero for GameCube? I played it once. I got it out on the weekend. Oh my god, is F-Zero GX hard. F-Zero GX is like one of the fucking hardest games I've ever played. I couldn't make it past like the 3rd level. Oh. You know what else? Why won't they re-release Metroid Fusion? Like, yeah, I wish that Nintendo would re-release Metroid Fusion. I don't get like why they refuse to re-release a lot of these games, or Metroid Zero. Is GX the one for GameCube? I don't remember what the GameCube one is. Let me just look at this. Okay, yeah, that was for GameCube. Let me see how much F-Zero GX is on eBay now. It's got to be like some like disgusting amount of money. I'd imagine so. Oh, they won't make another custom Robo game. That's another one they won't make more of. Oh, okay. F-Zero GX is only $50. Okay, it's actually not that expensive. That's interesting. I think you get bonus XP for each unit that you allow to escape ahead of time. So, escape ahead of Ike. Oh, Castlevania is dead. Castlevania is deader than dead. They refuse to make more Castlevania RPGs. I want another Metroidvania RPG, but they won't. They'll only make shitty God of War clones. Brother, my Lord Ike. Miss Princess Rolf, are you all well? Yep, we're fine. Is this Galia? We made it, didn't we? We're safe now, right? I thought I would feel different, but I don't. This is due to your efforts. Thank you. Princess Alencia. It's still too early to rest easy. The others haven't rejoined us yet. Ah. We are talking about the commander. I don't think there's anything to worry about. Father Shinan Gatri. Princess Alencia, I'm afraid we're going to have to part ways here. What do you mean? We're going back to aid our companions. So I want you to continue with Mist to the royal palace of Galia. No, Ike, I'm going to stay with you. Listen to me, Mist. We must do it this way so that everyone gets out of here alive. Yeah, but you got a specific job. So just fucking do it. Well, no. Alright. Then we'll go ahead. Thank you, Mist. We'll see you soon. Alright, Titania. Please take care of my brother. Pinky swear. You have my word on it. Oscar, boy, don't get killed out there, alright? Rolf. Knock it off, both of you. You're like a couple of old women. We're gonna be fine. Nothing bad's gonna happen while I'm around. Pardon me, my lordress, yes. Take this with you, please. This is a men's staff, isn't it? Are you sure this is alright? Every one of you is putting yourself in harm's way on my account. I only hope this staff can mitigate your risks, even slightly. Thank you much. This will help us greatly. I will use it to aid the others in your name. Thank you. Please be careful, if you'll excuse me. O benevolent Ashara, grant them all your blessings. Alright, we're going to go now. Good luck. Watch your step. We'll see all of you again, I'm sure of it. I know you'll all be safe. Where to, Soren? Okay. Yeah, let's go attack a random fort. That's gonna work out really well. Yep, this looks like a good idea. It seems as though this place has been abandoned for a long time. There's no one here. I could have sworn I saw a silhouette. Tanya, you're supposed to be the smart one. This is obviously a trap. Uh-oh. Are you finishing this game? I might. I'll see how long it goes on for. I just don't really have anything else to play at the moment. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do for a story-based game to kind of like make fun of. Let me see, like, do people like, so what do people want to see for another like story-based game? Like something to succeed Life is Strange. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be putting out in the next couple of days a a Life is Strange like a compilation where I edit out all the intros and conclusions. So that's gonna kind of be the next thing on the list. So okay, I'm just gonna, let's see. Oh right, I should save this. Okay, let me see here. What do I have? I could do Dory Dory Literature Club. I've been thinking about doing that. Let me think. There's Dory Dory Literature Club. The issue is I kind of need to play something with uh, voice acting because I don't really want to talk the whole time. Because if I talk the whole time, it's going to be just a disaster. Because my voice is going to get tired and I won't be able to play it for very long. Yeah, I could finish up Super Seducer. I can't play Yandere Sim. We've been over this. If I play it, then my channel's going to get shut down again. Okay, so it needs to be something that has voice acting. It needs to be something that can be on PC or emulator. And I guess those are the two like main the two main things. Playable on the PC and something that is voice acted. No, I'm not playing Final Fantasy. Sorry. I'm just not. Final Fantasy is too long and I've never really been able to get through one of them, to be honest. I just don't like them. I'm too much of a Chad for Final Fantasy. Let me see, is Life is Strange Season 2 on sale? Oh, it is? No, it's... Oh, Life is Strange 2 isn't very expensive at all. Okay, it's on sale, but it's like a shitty sale. It's like a... How much of Life is Strange 2 has been released? I've played some of Xenosaga. It's okay. I didn't think it was like amazing. I didn't think it was terrible. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, only one episode. I don't really want to play it until I get like more than that. There's Vampire. Does Vampire have your decisions matter? The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. What the hell is the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit? What the fuck is this? Okay, I'll download this. PS3 emulators don't work. I've tried them. They just don't. They don't work very well at all. My computer at least is not good enough to run them. I can run all kinds of... I can run like Far Cry 5, but emulators are really, really tricky. Like I can't run a Wii U emulator. No, New Vegas is too long. New Vegas is like one of the longest games ever. Also, people will get bored. It'll just be me like wandering around. It won't be that interesting. Let me see here. Let me just fire up my browser. Give this a second. I could do a Call of Cthulhu. I just have to buy Call of Cthulhu. Let me see if Call of Cthulhu is on sale. Because that might actually be an interesting thing to do a Let's Play of. Call of Cthulhu. I started Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth, but just no one really seemed to care that much about it, so I just never bothered to go through it any further. But, yeah. See, Call of Cthulhu. It's semi on sale. It's like mildly on sale, I guess, at the moment. Yeah, I could do one of those like old shitty point and click games. I could do like Phantasmagoria or something like that. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Um, you know what? Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll try to find some old like adventure, like shitty adventure games to play. That actually sounds like good. Okay, I'll think about that. Anyways, I think I'm done for today. God bless everyone. Happy weekend. Uh,